So what is good, y'all? It is Anime K here and we are back with another video, and today we're going to be talking about where did Boruto actually learn Purple Lightning. Now in my other video I talked about where I thought Boruto could have possibly learned Purple Lightning. I mentioned that it might have been from Sasuke or it could have been from Kakashi or Kashinkoji. Now I want to go over some of them similar points and also bring in some new points in this video, because I think there's a lot of places where Boruto could have learned this jutsu, and you know, it's just very interesting to touch on. So first of all, right, let's talk about chapter 6. Now obviously in chapter 6, right, Boruto returns to the Leaf Village, which I talked about in my last video. I won't go over it too much, don't worry, because I've already talked about it a lot. But he returns to the Leaf Village to obviously talk to Sarada and Sumire about what happened to Sasuke and warn Sarada about Sasuke's claw grime and basically fill them in on everything that he's been up to. Now Kawaki is the only one that notices Boruto is back in the village because Boruto was able to suppress his chakra, and because he's able to suppress his chakra, people like Ino and her clan, right, because obviously Ino's clan has basically a barrier around the Leaf Village where they can detect if someone is not from the Leaf Village based on their chakra, right? But because Boruto is able to suppress his, no one is able to notice he's there apart from Kawaki. Now when Kawaki realizes that Boruto is back in the village, Mitsuki quickly puts Kawaki to sleep. Now it's unclear why Mitsuki does this. I guess just because he wants to fight Boruto and he doesn't want Kawaki to get hurt, because obviously Kawaki is his son now, so just like he probably would have done for Boruto, he's protecting Kawaki because obviously they've changed places, right? You know all that, right? I'm not going to go over that too much, but what's interesting is during Mitsuki and Boruto's fight, right, Boruto uses Purple Lightning. Now there's a lot of places where Boruto could have learned this. Now the first one and the most obvious one is obviously Sasuke, right? Because a lot of people forget that Sasuke actually does know Purple Lightning. It's not really mentioned. I've watched a couple of videos on it and people say that it could have been from Kakashi or other people, but no one really mentions Sasuke. Now Sasuke uses Purple Lightning once, and that's probably why people forget, but he uses it during the last arc of Naruto. Now he's fighting this girl, I forget her name, but he's fighting this weird clan. I don't know if you guys remember, it's kind of an arc, it's at the end of Naruto, so a lot of people will forget about it, but he's fighting this girl and he uses Purple Lightning to basically slash away the snake looking thing, right? But he does use Purple Lightning, so we know he at least has it in his arsenal. Now that's the first place he could have used it, because obviously at the end of chapter 79 or 80, I think it's where Boruto leaves the village, obviously Sarada convinces Sasuke to go and train Boruto, and Sasuke does train Boruto for at least a year before getting put in the tree by Code. So this is the first place where he could have used it, because Sasuke does state that I've told you everything I know, so that could include Purple Lightning, and he says, look Boruto, you're a genius, so just keep improving on the stuff that I taught you. So either Sasuke could have taught him Purple Lightning or Boruto could have evolved it himself into Purple Lightning, because like Sasuke states, he is a genius, and the improvement that Boruto has made in these last chapters really backs that up, right? So the first place and the obvious one is Sasuke. Now the next person that people theorize it could have been is Kakashi, and I actually said this in my last video as well. Now obviously if you remember, Kakashi, right, he creates Purple Lightning because during the 4th Great Snow World War, when Madara takes out his Kamui Eye, right, he loses the Sharingan, and then he gets it back briefly with Obito's help, but then he loses it again. So unfortunately he loses his Sharingan, right, and because of this he's not able to use the Chidori, because basically, right, if you remember, the only reason why he was able to use the Chidori was because his Sharingan would fill in his blind spot, because before when he used the Chidori he could only see basically in front of him. Think of it like tunnel vision, right? He could only see in front of him, and that won't help you if you're a ninja, because obviously people are going to attack you from all different directions, right? But that's basically why when he gets the Sharingan he's able to use the Chidori better, but when he loses it he can't. So he gets the inspiration from Madara in the 4th Great Snow World War. Now I forgot what the ability is called, but Madara uses a sort of lightning jutsu, right? It's not actually called Purple Lightning, he uses a sort of Purple Lightning type ability, right? I can't remember what it's actually called, but he gets the inspiration from Madara, and that's when he creates Purple Lightning. And Purple Lightning is actually stronger than the Chidori or the Raikiri, right? So it's a very strong jutsu, but that is the second theory, that he learned it from Kakashi. Now how would Kakashi even run into Boruto, right, is probably the question you're asking. Well, I don't know, maybe he went out looking for Sasuke, because he did say that he would bring Sasuke back if he ever turned into a rogue ninja again, so that could be one possibility. But I don't really know how that could work out. Maybe he goes looking for Sasuke, he finds him, right? Sasuke convinces Kakashi, look, Boruto is a good guy. My daughter said this, she awakened the MS, so I believe her. And that could be a possibility. And maybe Kakashi, after Sasuke dies, trains Boruto and teaches him the Purple Lightning. Now, I don't know if I really subscribe to this, because Kakashi's not really beating Boruto that much. And I guess this would be a good way to bring him back into the story and make him relevant again in the story, being the one that trained Boruto. And obviously that would be cool, because obviously he trained Naruto and he was trained by Boruto's grandfather. So it would be a cool turn of events if it was Kakashi that taught him this jutsu, but I don't know. But Kakashi being the one that actually created Purple Lightning, well, it at least puts him in there as the people that could have potentially trained him, right? But I don't know if I exactly believe in this theory. Now, this next one is a little bit of a weak theory for me. I did mention Kashin Kojin in my last video, but I didn't really go into it too much because I don't know if I personally actually believed in this theory. But basically, right, obviously Kashin Kojin saw Purple Lightning because Kakashi and Kashin Kojin fought each other briefly, and Kakashi did use Purple Lightning. Now, well, we've never actually seen Kashin Kojin use Purple Lightning or use any form of lightning at all, right? So again, this theory is very weak, but I guess you could make the argument that maybe he just helped Boruto get there somehow. Again, I'm sorry, this theory is very weak, but because Kashin Kojin trained Boruto, I have to put him in there because it's still a possibility. I don't know how it would work out, right? And I doubt this will be the person who trained him it, but I thought I would at least mention it, right? It could be Kashin Kojin. It could be. If you take into the fact that he is a clone of Jiraiya knew, I think, like every Geki Genkai and every kind of ability there is, so you could say that maybe if you subscribe to the fact that he has Jiraiya's memories, right, that he could have been the person that trained Boruto. He could have hacked into some of his memories somehow and, I don't know, was able to cheat Boruto it. But anyway, let's move on to the second theory, which this one is a bit of a stronger one. Now, this next one, right, is a bit weird, right? And I say it's weird is because, right, some people in the comments of some other videos were like, if you look at the data books, it says that Boruto knew Purple Lightning way before even the time skip. Now, I don't know if I want to go off this, right, because we never see Boruto actually use Purple Lightning before the time skip, right? Now, even though it says in the data book, right, the data book, you can't always go off the data book, right? Personally, I don't think so anyway, right? I think you should go off manga, anime, and I guess if Kishimoto comes out and says anything, right? But it does say in the data books that Boruto knows Purple Lightning before the time skip around the tuning exams, right? But why this makes no sense to me is because, one, Sarada doesn't know Purple Lightning. Boruto was a genius, but I'd even call Sarada pretty much of a genius herself. I mean, she does learn Chidori pretty quickly, right? And if even she can't use Purple Lightning, someone who should be a better lightning user than Boruto, which we'll go into Sarada in a different video because she's kind of been left out of the fight, right? And, you know, women in Boruto and Naruto don't get developed that well, so that might be a reason why. But still, I just don't subscribe to this notion that Boruto knew Purple Lightning this whole time and then somehow he just starts using it after the time skip, right? And I guess you could say, well, you know, obviously with his karma and the fact that he's an Otosuki now, he probably can learn abilities quicker. I don't know, right? And plus, it was Ikimoto. If I'm pronouncing his name wrong, I apologize, but Ikimoto was writing the story at this point. It wasn't even Kishimoto. And because Kishimoto's picked the story back up, it could just be another retcon, which, you know, if you're a Naruto fan and you've watched a lot of YouTubers make videos on retcons, right, it happens a lot in Naruto. So I would just call this a retcon or just a hole in the story. I don't really subscribe to this theory that Boruto knew Purple Lightning this whole time and just taught himself Purple Lightning or just decided to start using it, right? I don't really subscribe to this. I just think if that's the explanation that, I don't know, in the next chapters Boruto's like, oh, I just knew Purple Lightning all along, I just don't think I'd be happy with that explanation. One, it wouldn't be that fun. I think there's more funner theories. I think Kakashi, Sasuke, or even Kashin Kojin teaching him this would be way better, right? And I just think if Kishimoto comes out and he's like, oh yeah, Boruto knows Purple Lightning because he's always known it, would just be a bit boring, and I don't really subscribe to this. But I thought I'd mention it because a couple people in some other comment sections were saying this, right? And I just thought, hey, I'll mention it here just in case some people in the comments do mention it, right? So I've got it out there, I've mentioned it, but again, I think there's like literally a 0.01% chance of this even being the reason that Boruto knows Purple Lightning, because it's not a fun explanation basically, right? But I do have one last one, right? Now, if you guys subscribe to the notion that Boruto knows time travel, and this one is so far-fetched, but I thought, one, I'd mention it just to make the video longer, right? And two, I think it would be quite cool because obviously, right, there's a panel of Obito and Team 7, right? And there's a guy stood in the back, or a girl, I don't know, right? I don't want to be sexist or anything, but there's someone stood in the back, right? right? And a lot of people theorize that this could be Boruto time traveling and coming from the future back to the past to watch Team 7 fight in the war and, I don't know, get some inspiration. I brought this up in a couple videos ago when Boruto obviously was talking to Code about the horror of the Ten Tails, and I thought maybe Boruto knows about the Ten Tails because he went back in time. Obviously, I don't think that is the reason given the recent dialect that we've got from the chapter, but could still be a possibility. But if you subscribe to the notion that Boruto knew time travel, you could say that he went back in time and saw Madara use that kind of purple lightning ability, and he could have got the inspiration the same way Kakashi got it from. Or at least you could say he might have brought it up to Sasuke, the purple lightning, and maybe Sasuke was like, oh yeah, purple lightning, okay, I could teach you that. But if you subscribe to the notion that Boruto knew time travel, you could say that Madara taught him purple lightning indirectly, right, by him watching. And because he can suppress his chakra, that's a good theory. Because he can suppress his chakra, no one would have known that he was there, because even Madara, someone who had the Ten Tails, still wouldn't have been able to sense Boruto's presence. So it's a possibility, right? Maybe he learned off Madara the same way. And that's a good title for this video, actually. I'm going to title it Madara taught Boruto purple. Yeah, that's a good title. But look, guys, if you ask me which theory I think it is, I would say probably either Sasuke or Kakashi. I think both of them theories are the most likely. I think the Kakashi one is the more fun one, and one I would want it to be, because it would introduce Kakashi back into the story. And I think with both Naruto and Sasuke gone now, introducing Sakura and Kakashi back into the story would be very fun, because we've not seen Sakura or Kakashi yet after the time skip. But guys, look, tell me what theory you think it is. Where did Boruto learn purple lightning? If you've got some other theories, let me know in the comments below and I'll be reading all of them. And guys, this has been Anime K. Thank you for watching, listening, or however you choose to indulge in my content. And peace. I am out. Come back here for more Boruto, Naruto, and other content.